Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So let's talk about our next unit that's going to drop, the Night King Camelot. He is really awesome. And it's probably going to be the same as CN where we get his cosmetic. So it's a 1280 Astral Gem pass. So similar to the one we had with Cole and Inanna. And we get like a few stacks and everything as well. The Hourglass, nothing too special here. And Castalia there as well. His banner's going to be pretty interesting. So every 10 pulls, you'll get some shards, universal shards here. I'm not sure if you'll get the 20% discount. This was first introduced in CN around the time of SP Meta and Camelot. CN also had a free 10 pull with Camelot as well. Well, all that aside, let's have a look at Camelot. It's finally translated properly here on the Taiwan version, so let's have a look at his skills. So at 1 star, increases his max HP by 30% and decreases percentage damage taken by 15%. Ignores block and generates 20% lifesteal. So these are fairly standard effects. So most breakers have the ignore block, HP, extra tankiness, and 20% lifesteal is really solid. At the start of battle, adds 9% of HP to physical attack. So you need to build up his HP as well. There's that HP to physical attack conversion, which is really nice. Increases his stats and gains an additional skill, Decoration of Conquest. So this is physical damage, it's instant. Attacks the designated target, 30% AoE damage. After attacking, inflicts 6 stacks of coercion on the target for 2 turns. Camelot gains Disdain, which is a debuff for 4 turns, and a physical shield equal to 30% of HP. The coercion is a debuff. When that enemy attacks Camelot, it reduces that character's attack, and when Camelot attacks that unit under coercion, it reduces that character's defense by 1% of Camelot's max HP. It's stackable up to 6 times. So up to 6% of Camelot's max HP there is the reduction in defense. It just makes the enemy weaker when hitting Camelot, and yeah, Camelot becomes stronger. When attacking on being attacked by the Union characters, so your Union allies, the reduction is equal to 0.5% of Camelot's max HP. This effect cannot be dispelled or immunized. The buff that Camelot gains, Disdain, increases damage by 10% against targets with coercion, so even more damage from Camelot if the target has 6 stacks. Remember, we apply that 6 stacks with that Decoration of Conquest here, 6 stacks of coercion. Increases damage to 30%. After being attacked by enemies with 6 stacks of coercion, if Camelot is injured, he recovers 35% HP. He's a bruiser and gets HP recovery when he's injured. Can be triggered 1 time per round. This effect cannot be dispelled or immunized. There's so much to his kit already. And then, before launching an active AoE attack, inflicts 1 stack of coercion on the target for 2 turns. If they're already inflicted with coercion, Camelot gains Act Again. So this is his big Act Again. And Regroup for 4 turns. So Regroup is actually the debuff stopping Camelot from acting again. It's a mark, cannot gain Act Again effect from traits. Cannot be dispelled or immunized. If this effect is gained during the extra action, reduces duration by 1 turn. So yeah, 4 turn debuff, right? And after the first active attack each round, gains a physical shield equal to 10% of HP. And let's have a look at the 2-star effect, right? So we have the maximum HP increasing to 40%, decreasing percentage damage taken to 25%, and still has ignore block and 20% lifesteal. We have a higher HP conversion, 12% HP to attack, and the rest is the same. Now for 3-star. The 3-star, everything here is the same. The one we gain is toughness. The toughness, immunity to injured and dying effects. So being injured and dying does debuff you. So he does gain that toughness at 3-star. It's still 12% HP to attack. The only other change is before launching an active attack, inflicts 2 stacks of coercion to the target for 2 turns, and our regroup is now at a 3-turn cooldown. So that debuff that's stopping us from acting again is reduced to 3 turns here. The 3-star is fairly solid. The key takeaway here is 4-star. So 4-star increases max HP by 50%, decreasing percentage damage taken by 35%. So making him more tanky there. And now we're doing 15% HP to physical attack conversion. It's still 2 stacks of coercion and 3 turn cooldown for regroup. But now we do gain a physical shield. The first active attack each round, physical shield is equal to 20% of HP now. So much stronger. 4-star is a nice stopping point here, because compared to 5-star, we're still at that 15% HP to physical attack conversion. The main difference is here. 3 stacks of coercion compared to the 2 stacks at 4-star, so extra stack of coercion. And our regroup reduces to 2 turns. And we also recover 1 energy, which can be triggered up to 1 time per round. So 5-star is definitely really solid for Camelot as well. But 4-star, he already gets the beefy stats and high attack. This is just lets him combo through a bit faster, 1 turn faster, right? So our initial skill is a 2 cooldown Unstoppable Force. Performs charge, so charges to the character location, 120% AoE damage to all enemies within 1 tile of the target, plus shape range here. And before attacking, inflicts block resolve, so they can't revive. So nullifies resolve and unlimited resolve, as well as certain effects that prevent being defeated or allow one to return to combat upon defeat. And it's a 2-turn debuff. Pretty solid there. So back on 1217, and let's look at Camelot's damage with and without the coercion debuff and him having the disdain buff, right? So if we just go in, standard attack, 4977. Let's see. 5559. Okay. But standard damage, he doesn't have any buffs or anything. Let's backtrack this. And in this case, we'll jump in and do Decoration of Conquest. So we can see the boss here does have the coercion. The actual stat lines doesn't change. It only it comes in effect when Camelot or his Union allies attack here. And now Camelot also has the disdain buff. So huge damage increase, and let's have a look at this. 9,400. Okay. Let's look at his rank 1 skills. We have Will to Survive Extra. Passive increases max HP by 15%. After being attacked, if in a dying state, recovers 50% HP and 2 energy. 2-turn cooldown. And it also gives us the HP node. Now we definitely want this because we want to stack extra HP on Camelot. And this being attacked is quite flexible. If you're being hit by some environmental effects like barrel and everything like that, it still counts. So definitely want to choose this one. The right side is shield. Passive at the start of battle gains a physical shield with a value equal to 15% of HP. This effect cannot be dispelled. I mean, we can stack his shield thicker, but the main thing is we want to get as much HP on Camelot to convert to his physical attack. So definitely choosing with this one. So we can see it here. Camelot has low HP, he's injured, and we're just going to blindly charge into a barrel. And yeah, look at his HP just go up, right? Now for rank 3, we have Throne of Ashes. So 3-turn cooldown, physical damage, 50% AoE damage to all enemies within 3 tiles of the character, and steals 1 buff from the targets. Before attacking, inflicts 2 stacks of coercion on the target for 2 turns. After attacking, gains a physical shield equal to 10% HP for each enemy hit. additionally gains a physical shield equal to 10% HP. So yeah, just hit multiple enemies. I guess the main thing is if you're stealing buffs, you don't want to use the dispelling hammer. This one, the tuning hammer, you don't want to dispel the buff before you steal it. So not really recommending this skill. One we'll be looking at is the right side. Does give us the HP 3%. Gaunt the passive increases max HP by 15%. At the start of turn, restores 15% HP. When attacked by enemies with HP lower than the character, you become immune to bound, disruption, and knockback effects. So this is so good. Like, weaker enemies can't bully Camelot, essentially. And before being targeted by a single target attacks, dispel all shield break effects from the attacker. So they can't even have the buff to break Camelot's shield. So it makes Camelot so much tankier. And just regenerating the HP every turn, he's just like a bruiser that can never die, essentially. Like, this is insane. We don't have any other character which are like immune to all of this, and makes Camelot so much tanky. He just goes in. If his HP's higher, then it's like, you aren't doing anything to me. You can only damage me. You can't CC me down. Rank 5 for the reactions, we have Strength Activation Extra. Healing received increases by 30%, and when healed, gains damage 3 for 1 turn. Kinda alright, but the right side's where we at. So 5 turn cooldown, a very long reaction. King's Fighting Spirit. Decreases physical damage taken by 15%. And when Camelot gets hit, he acts instantly. Greatly increases the character's speed. If you already acted in this round, gains extra again. Otherwise, gains act again. Speed returns to normal after any effect triggers. Recovers 30% HP and dispels all debuffs from the character. Cooldown is 5 turns. I guess the way to see this is, let's put this explosive barrel here. We can see Camelot's at 211 speed, and we trigger this barrel. Camelot triggers his fighting spirit here. So we can see King's Fighting Spirit on cooldown, 1211 speed. So he gains that turn. We stand by, and then Camelot, he essentially has 2 turns now, right? He has his extra turn gained from his reaction, and then he has a normal turn here. So 2 turns there. I guess another way to see it is, like, I can click standby twice, right? Standby twice. And the other method is Camelot takes his turn, and then we trigger his reaction here and attack his barrel. And then Camelot gets that King's Fighting Spirit and gets his turn immediately again. So yeah, it is such a long cooldown there at 5 turns. Alright, so rank 7 we have Proud Lionheart. For all Union allies, increases attack by 10%, defense by 20, so that's a standard. The special effect here is if they are healthy, above 70% HP, increases damage by 10%. And if their physical shield value is greater than 30% of HP, additionally increases attack by 10%. While Camelot himself can generate his own shield, he can't really give other Union units shield there. So you do want someone with a solid shield generator in order to take advantage of this extra effect there, but it's definitely a really solid Union aura. The only other Union aura we had before was Gloria, so it's been a while since we had a new one, and this one's definitely really solid there. And this is Camelot's combo. So big hit combo. So Verdict, solo carry, 1 energy, 3 turn cooldown, instant, jumps to the target location, deals 40% AoE damage to all enemies within a 1 tile radius of the target. So this is the 3x3 square, inflicting block reaction skills for 2 turns. After attacking, the skill switches to Verdict, armies fall, and remains available for 2 turns. 100% AoE to all enemies within a 3x3 in the target direction, inflicts Isolate for 2 turns, and after attacking, skill switches to Verdict World Conquest and remains available for 2 turns. Jumps to target location, 170% AoE to all enemies within 3 tiles, decreases skill multiplier by 15% for each enemy hit to a minimum of 110%. Skill multiplier is fixed at 170% to targets with 6 stacks of coercion. So that from his trait, you can do that coercion. Was it the Decoration of Conquest, and inflicts stuns on targets on a 1 tile radius in the center for 1 turn, and then switches back to the original skill. So it is a 3 cycle skill. Only this one's an instant. This AoE, and then he needs to get the act again to do this in the same turn. Otherwise, he's doing the World Conquest on the next turn. So the combo will usually go like this, right? We go through and Decoration of Conquest, the main target here. And then we can jump through and do a big AoE here, instant whack. And then he can do the armies fall. So we could maybe move a bit and then AoE here. Nice. And remember, the target's inflicted with coercion, so Camelot does get that act again from his trait. You can see the disdain buff and the regroup debuff there. And now we have the big World Conquest skill, right? And then we go huge AoE. The big skill cut animation. And bam. Like when Camelot does the Decoration of Conquest and AoEs that target, he does gain that instant act again there. So yeah, the regroup. So we get the act again, and the first skill was instant, so we still could use Armies Fall and then World Conquest. So we're definitely taking both the Aura and the AoE here. On rank 9, we have Invigorating Strike, 100% physical damage, recover 1 energy, but Camelot does work off his AoE, so he does want Crushing. 120% AoE physical damage for all enemies in a 3x2 area into target location, knocking back the first enemy in each column back by 1 tile. So AoE knockback decreases skill multiplier by 15% for each enemy hit, to a minimum of 90%. Skill multiplier is fixed at 120% to targets with 6 stacks of coercion. So yeah, just targeting that target, just taking extra damage there. And then rank 11 is kind of just whatever, right? Knight's Glory extra, instant, grants attack 2 to all allies within 2 tiles for 2 turns. So that's the standard Knight's Glory skill. The extra version is for the Union allies, additionally grants physical shield equal to 30% HP for 2 turns. 4 turn 2 cooldown. Like technically, that sort of stacks with the shield value of 30% from his aura, but Camelot's not a support. He's not running this. And then the right side is Blazing Storage. 85% AoE to enemies within 3 tiles, inflicts block healing received and physical damage, physical defense 2 down for 2 turns. 2 costs, 3 cooldown. Fairly decent. Blocking the healing and physical defense 2 down is alright. Like good at clearing some mobs. And then we have our Ascension skill, which is physical defense increased by 10%, physical damage reduced by 10%. So, I mean, this makes it a bit tankier. Not really worth it, right? Oath Keeping. So this is the default build that you'll run for Camelot. The AoE, his Act Again reaction, Scorn the Masses, regenerating HP, his ultimate combo skill, and his aura, right? I mean, at times, you might want to take out this skill, because after this combo, it's a 3-turn cooldown, and then he's left with basic attacks for like 2 turns. So what you can do is you can swap this to Blazing Storage and do the AoE. It is a 2 cost, so you might run out of energy there. Or you could go Unstoppable Force to charge into the enemies. It's a 2-turn cooldown. Or you could swap that skill out and run Throne of Ashes, which is another AoE there. So to see Camelot's full combo here, what we do is declaring Conquest, Declaration of Conquest on the main target, and then we'll do the AoE. And because we hit AoE on that declared target, we get the act again from our trait, and then we go another big AoE, and we do another AoE, right? The big AoE. But what we also want to happen is Camelot to get hit afterwards, and he can take another turn. So, for example, even if we put like an explosive barrel here, and then he triggers it, he'll gain the act again from his reaction, right? So if we just put that there, for example, and say like he gets hit right after doing this AoE, gets hit by the enemy, he gets that act again, and then he can hit again, right? And then it's turn 2, so huge burst, turn 1. But then Camelot, all his skills on cooldown. 4-2 has the regroup debuff at a 2-turn cooldown because my Camelot's at 4-star. And then you're just left with basic attacks for a few turns, right? We go basic, we go basic. And then now we can do like an AoE again. And yeah, our debuff from our trait is gone. So we can, but we don't have that Declaration of Conquest, right? And Coercion, did it run out? As 2, right? So we need to stack those again. So hit again. Coercion is sitting at 4. We hit again, that's only 6, right? But then we did hit that. Yeah, so 6. We do it before he attacks. So now we can do the big ultimate again, right? So that's how we combo with Camelot. But then that's turn 5 already. And our reaction hasn't cooled down. Like, with his reaction and his combo skill, we can have Credenza reduce these. But his trait act again, that one we can't reduce. This regroup, right? Okay, Camelot's Astral Imprint. Surtur the Darkfire Act. Max HP by 20%. When the character grants physical shield to the character, his trait gives him physical shield. He gains attack 2 and Darkfire. And the effect is increased physical AoE damage by 20% for 2 turns. So just increasing his damage, very specialized for Camelot. And it's pretty solid. I think that is about like a 15% increase to his damage there. Otherwise, what we can also look at is running the Gale Sword on Camelot, because you know his act again and hitting that extra crit damage is really good. For the free-to-play more options, we have the Feast Axe. So this pretty much works with Camelot because he's doing multiple instances of damage, so target's HP would generally be lower than Camelot there. The other option is we can also have a look at the Brutal Axe. It does give him HP, and I guess the other effect is a bit harder to trigger because Camelot HP percentages need to be lower than enemy. But if he's tanking from the enemy and like tanking from the boss and regenning at enemy HP's higher percentage, he could get this effect off because Camelot's very tanky, has a lot of HP. He also has the toughness, so it doesn't matter if he's on the lower HP, but this might regen him too much, right? A bit of a balance if you want to use Brutal Axe. For trinkets, Shield of Justice fits him perfectly. He does get all the physical shield and the benefits of that, and he has a really thick shield, so always get the physical shield up and having the solid attack and defense. We can also use the Roaring Flint. This piercing AoE damage does apply the stacks of coercion to the target, so Roaring Flint is solid. And then lastly, I'm just using Crystal Burst Armor, 10% HP. He doesn't get anything from the strike back, but It's a bit of HP there, right? For the engravings, do recommend that sword and wand. Although what he could also do is he can go the cup and wand to reset his skills, get the engraving resonance. So I guess. And for the Tara, it's very standard for DPS. You can go with Magician for the AoE, increased damage, Justice for the extra crit and crit damage. And getting the Fools is pretty good as well because increases his HP and his max HP is greater than target. I guess for like mobbing, like it does increase the damage for this part, but the HP stacking makes him a lot tankier there. And remember, with all this HP, he does convert that to physical attack, right? And lastly, you can just run like a devil, right? Devil, with or without the special effect. Probably just without the special effect, right? Anyway, that is Camelot. Really insane, huge burst combo, and is he a must pull? I feel like he is definitely really strong. Really strong. But you can see his limitations, right? The regroup debuff at 5 stars is 2 turns. There's no way really around that. There's nothing really around that. Like his act again, we can reduce that 5-turn cooldown. We can reduce this 3-turn cooldown so he AoEs. But he just feels like a bruiser. Someone who's like, you know, just stands there, wipes out the enemies, wave after wave. But there's not really any content for that. Like, our content is about, you know, beating the stage, usually as fast as possible. That's the main thing, right? And Camelot's good at surviving and doing solid damage. Very high damage when he has all his skills up. Otherwise, you're just basically bashing the enemy with your basic attack. And these don't really have much big AoEs. 85%, 120% charge. And then what was the other one? 50% AoE. It is what it is. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching. Good luck on getting a Camelot, and yeah, I'll get him on global and test him out further. I'll see you guys next time.